to change, you filthy animal.
Yippee-ki-yay!
You Virginia don't fade, you.
Shaken, not stirred.
You talking to me?
You're a wizard, Harry.
I volunteer as tribute.
Sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion.
Deirdre Chambers. What a coincidence.
That's so fat.
How? Woo.
Wakanda forever!
Welcome back, my darlings, to Not My Genre, the Fire Teller Film Review. It's episode 38. It's such a fantastic day today in the Fire Teller production office. Will, what movie are we doing today?
Army of the Dead.
Did you hear me sing then? I just went today.
Yeah, beautiful. It's not a musical though. So as much as you want to make every single film a musical, this one is not it.
Can you stop knocking my taste in films? Okay?
Your taste. I'd barely call it a taste.
Listen, you forced me to watch this movie.
I didn't.
I
suggested it kindly.
I was kind enough to you, like last week,
You
whenever
said
it was.
no to my face, and then suddenly...
I said, what film would you like to do next? And you said Army of the Dead, and I said no.
And then suddenly a week later...
You forced me to do it.
Just like I forced you to bring me a McDonald's chocolate shake this afternoon.
Hey, look, I was being nice, and I paid for that out of my own money. You didn't even have a sip, so let's not even go there.
I told you
All
I didn't want it.
Listen, you're not being very nice to me today.
It's in the freezer. Did you
get
put it in the
into
freezer?
Yeah, I did put it in the
thank you.
freezer.
Okay, good.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
All right, so
listen,
who are we?
Who are we?
We are Fire Teller. We're a film production business based in Perth. We do all sorts of corporate videos, films, and event videos. So check us out, fireteller.com. That's the shameless self-promotion.
I'm just going to sip my tea while you talk.
Yeah, could you do a big slurp for us? Oh, yeah, that's good.
No, I'm joking.
Don't joke. All right, look, enough of the silliness. Let's get into it. So, Army of the Dead.
Jesus Christ.
A film made by director Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Written by Zack Snyder as well as a guy called Shay Hatton, who's most notably done for John Wick 3, and Joby Harold, who did King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Now, Zack Snyder, back to him, the most famous one, famous for 300, Watchmen, and Batman vs. Superman, as well as Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League, which has his name in the title.
That's right. Now, I've got something to say. I've got something to admit. This movie, Army of the Dead, is the first Zack Snyder movie that I think I've ever seen.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of those movies.
Yeah.
I'm not a Zack
How
Snyder.
have you avoided them?
To be honest, I just when I hear Zack Snyder, I think Marvel. Or is it DC? I don't know. It's DC. Sorry, I just think superhero. I turn off.
Okay,
I turn off.
Yeah,
as
fair
far
enough.
as I'm concerned, the whole Justice League thing, the Zack Snyder cut. Tell us about that. Well, what happened there?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, Justice League. So what happened was. This is actually a really sad story. Zack Snyder had a personal loss in his family.
Oh, that's right.
I believe his daughter committed suicide.
Oh,
and he
really?
Had to quit.
Didn't know that.
He had to quit making Justice League, so he started it, and Joss Whedon
took over. And Joss Whedon apparently...
Well, he changed a lot of stuff.
Decimated
and
it, didn't
also was an abuser on set, apparently.
Right. Okay.
As it has come out on a lot of his other stories, he was also quite abusive.
Right.
And then Zack Snyder took over and said, hey, look, I'm going to do my version again and change it back into his version. So he added a whole lot of new
Did
footage.
Zack Snyder come and say he wanted to do that? I thought the fans sort of petitioned for Zack Snyder to do that. That's what I heard.
Oh, was it? Yeah, well, that sounds about right.
Whatever. He came back,
anyway.
he did his own, 10-hour cut or something like that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something about Zack Snyder? He's got to learn how to edit. Okay, he's got to learn how to tell a story in 90 minutes.
Oh, I know. Okay, so Army of the Dead. Let's just say what it's about. It's about there's a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas after this this secure military facility that's being transported gets blown up, basically, from an accident. And a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble. They have to venture into this quarantine zone where all the zombies are because Las Vegas has basically been closed off to pull off a grand heist of $200 million.
Yeah.
And they get to keep 50 of it.
That's right.
The protagonist does. And that was actually quite a funny sequence where he negotiates with all his
and the money
mercenary
just
crews.
keeps going down and down and down.
I'll give you 15 million, I'll give you 5 million, I'll give you 20,000.
But the one that's thanks so much for that. Obviously, you didn't read that at all. But the first thing that you notice when you go onto Netflix and you click into it, I think it's number one this week at the moment, is that it's 2 hours and 28 minutes long.
Right.
Now,
this is what I was saying by it's over the top. It's kind of arrogant's not the right word. What is it? It's
superfluous.
It's excessive. It's like excessive. It's Yeah, it's excessive filmmaking, and I know Zack Snyder's had this sort of style since the very beginning. Man, you go look at a film like 300, it is completely over the top, in every way, and also, of course, obviously the comic was, but they were, they were a match made in heaven. For me, when I watched 300, which was pretty much his first film after Dawn of the Dead,
right? Did he do Dawn of the Dead?
He did Dawn of the Dead, yeah, the remake. With Sarah Polley, 2005 or something.
Right. Okay.
But
You're the
my
expert.
point, the sex scene in 300, if you remember it, it's basically like an MTV music video.
Oh, right.
With
That's
lots
ridiculous.
of ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Okay, look, he's got a style.
He's got a style. Some people love it. Obviously, lots of people love it.
He's obviously got a massive fan base. So good on him and good on them. It's just, I'm going to say it. It's just not my genre.
Okay.
There you go. But can
it's not your style.
It's not. Well, that's right. Can I say?
Are there any zombie films that you like?
No, not at all.
There you go.
Can I? I want to say something, but you just won't. You just won't let me bloody speak today. You're frothing at the mouth. You forced me to watch this movie, so I put it on, and I've been sick, so I was just like, Jesus, have to sit down. This is last night through 2.5 hours worth of this zombie, not my genre.
Look, you're not the only one to be complaining about the length.
However, what is my genre? And I've said this before. I love heist movies.
Right.
Give me
so
a
you
heist.
must have been conflicted here.
Give me a heist. Give me Ocean's 11.
Yep.
Give it to me. Okay? Anything to do with going into a casino, stealing $200 million and having the crew and working it out and trying to break into safes.
High stakes.
That is my shit.
Yep.
Okay?
High stakes, time lock.
That's it.
You
All
gotta
that
get
stuff. All that stuff. Now, I didn't know anything about this movie. All I knew was that it was Zack Snyder and zombies. So automatically, I was like, I have to force myself to see this.
Yeah.
Now, when they hooked us in, well, when I got hooked, was when they first, they gave the concept,
Right.
and that is when I forget the character's name. Said the
the Japanese,
the
Bly
Japanese.
Takana.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the character.
He's
Played by Hiroyuki Sanada, who we know from Mortal Kombat, the recent one, and the Wolverine.
Fantastic. I knew that. I totally knew that. He says, look, we need you to break into this, into the zombie city and go and steal this 200 million. And I was in.
Yeah.
Like that. I was just like, okay, I get it.
I know. It's a great concept.
I get it. It's Dawn of the Dead mix Ocean's 11. Totally get it. And I watched it and I actually friggin' enjoyed it.
This film.
I liked this movie.
Wow. I'm giving this a 5 for my first impression. What's your first impression?
My first impression. Okay, for those who have just tuned in, we give 3 scores. The first one is just like, how did we feel without even thinking about it? Will's first impression is 5. I'm going to give my first impression a 7.
Wow. That's a solid score for you.
This is
okay.
I know.
All right. Wow. There you go.
I know. Very, very
Awkward
surprising.
silence.
I know, you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say.
Should we just go through some more credits for this film? Because we always do that at the beginning. So we just want to say that the main character of this story, the protagonist, is played by Dave Bautista, who plays a character called Scott Ward.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy, isn't he?
He is in Guardians of the Galaxy. He plays the big guy.
Yes.
And he's also in Blade Runner 2049. Which was a great role for him.
Fantastic.
His daughter, Kate Ward, is played by Ella Purnell, who we know from Sweet Bitter, the TV
One of my
shows.
fave
Yeah, you got
shows.
into that a lot, didn't you?
Really, really liked that show.
And there's like tons of other mercenaries. There's actually a big crew that go in to get this money. So that's played by Omar Hardwick. So yeah, Omar Hardwick, Anna I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, Della Reruga, Theo Rossi, Tig Notaro, Nora Arnazita, Matthias Swaffengoffer. Sorry, that's terrible.
I think you should just stop.
Raul Castillo. Oh my God.
Jesus
Oh
God.
my
You clearly
God.
remembered them.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought it was a really good cast, actually. There was no one that kind of grated on me.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Apart from the zombies. I mean,
Okay.
I think anything to do with zombies is just so immature. I'm just going to say it.
Really?
Like, they're all the same. That.
Oh no! Every now and then they change the film. Are they fast zombies? Are they smart
God,
zombies? And this was
come
smart fast zombies.
Oh, it's
Which
just
was,
so overdone. The only thing that saved this movie is that it was a heist film. I mean, seriously. Look, let's get into it. Okay, so let's move on.
Sorry, can I just say on cast?
Yeah.
We want to mention about Tig Notaro, who's in this film, but was actually digitally replaced, or actually was the digital replacement for comedian Chris D'Elia, because we were speaking about this before.
Yeah.
Really interesting that they actually...
Just to jump in, she's the awesome chick that smokes a cigar and is trying to get the helicopter going.
She's
on the roof.
pilot.
Great. She's so
Chris
cool.
D'Elia, the comedian, actually was played this character as a male and was fully filmed all his scenes with Dave Bautista, but then had to be digitally replaced because of some sexual harassment allegations, kind of like Kevin Spacey and All the Money in the World.
That's right.
So Tig Notaro actually never met Dave Bautista.
No.
Even though they shared
she
scenes
met no
together.
one except one. I think she was in one scene with
Right.
one cast member.
Yeah.
The rest of it's all just green screen and stuff.
Yeah.
And they, man,
I didn't notice.
Well, I mean, I noticed because I knew about. I'd read an
Oh,
article.
you read about it. I read about it after I saw it.
Oh, right, yeah. But actively watching it, I could see that she was in it seamlessly.
Yeah.
Right. But also, I could see that it was a bit clunky because I knew I was looking for it. Do you know what I mean?
That was a funny scene at the beginning where they're negotiating the money with her, and she's like,
Oh, I've got
$2 million?
I've got a problem with that
What?
scene actually.
Oh, why?
Because I mean, it's a typical in heist
Recruitment scene. Yeah.
in heist movies. You know, you go
Yeah.
and watch Ocean's 11 and all that. It's all the same. They go and recruit their crew. You know, we've seen it a million times. It's a montage. But usually there's conflict. Usually there is some reason why they won't go and join.
I
the team.
have the exact piece of feedback for this scene as well. It was way too easy to put this
It was
team
too
together.
easy, and I think all of them just straight away. I mean, it was a lot of money. I get it. All of them just went, "Yep, sure, I'm in."
Yeah.
And
Can I just say we're onto story now? So we're actually talking about the story, and that is really weak writing.
yeah, there's a problem with that. I mean, not only is there no conflict, and there should be conflict in every single scene, but also it takes the stakes away from the zombies themselves, from going into that, going into Vegas.
Yeah.
Had all of them gone, absolutely no way. That's just way too dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way I'm doing that. You know, then we would have got a sense that it was way more dangerous. It was more unsafe in that place.
Yeah.
But all of them were like, "Yep, sure, I'll go." You know, and I think it dampened it for me. So when they first got in there, I was just like, doesn't feel very scary.
Right. This is the same thing, and you could see it as actually a systemic problem with the writers and the writing of the story because they did the same thing with the refusal of the call. There wasn't much of a refusal for this scene. Remember, it was you've seen it more recently than me, but it was just something like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." There was no sort of, I can't do this, guys, and like thinking about it for a day, and then suddenly some event happens that makes him need to do it.
Totally.
It was just like,
totally.
I've got no other choice. All right, I'll do it.
For those who don't know what a refusal of the call is, it happens in Act 1. And in our structure, it's actually our third sequence that happens. In various other people's sequences, it'll be somewhere towards the beginning of Act 1. And it usually comes after a call to adventure or a call to change. Something comes and says, we need you to go and kill this thing, get that thing, change, or do something.
Yep.
And then even if the character is really willing and really gung-ho.
Yeah, and they really want to do that thing.
And they really want to do that thing. It's so important. It's so vital that they must hesitate, even if it's just for a moment.
Because it's human to hesitate.
It's human. And it
humanizes them as characters.
If they don't hesitate, it doesn't make the thing that they're going to do look difficult.
That's right. Yeah.
And if it's not difficult,
if they're not at least a little bit scared, or if at least another character doesn't come in and say, "Hey, you should be scared about this. This is fucking serious."
Yes. If there isn't that, if it doesn't come across as seeming, difficult or dangerous, then it doesn't become an agent of change. It doesn't become a gauntlet of change or a forest of greatness, we call it often, for them to go into and change.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the point.
So what we're saying is that not only wasn't a very strong refusal from Dave Bautista's character Scott Ward, but there didn't seem to be any refusal from any of the characters, and I think that really, really impacted when they got into Vegas.
Yeah, I just didn't care. I didn't
care
much.
either.
Yeah,
I didn't care.
You want to care? I mean, also, can I say, when they did go through the gates and they got into Vegas, there wasn't zombies everywhere, The promise of this story, and it's in the trailer, the promise of the film is, a quarantine zone that's filled to the brim with zombies everywhere. And when they got in, it's just like a ghost town. So I wanted there to be zombies everywhere, or at least a scene, where there's millions of zombies and they're just trapped. And you had elements of that, but you never really had that promise of thousands of zombies in one place.
Yeah,
which is the famous shot of the last scene of the trailer actually shows you like all these zombies, within Vegas. So
remind me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember any scene where there was just thousands of zombies other than the opening montage. Am I right? With them all sort of, like World War Z.
Yeah.
Type.
Yeah, it was just that opening montage.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. I tell you what I did like is in the setup with the Japanese character Hiroyuki. Sorry, what was his name? Bly Takana. I really loved how they flashed forward and they told the entire story.
Oh, right, where they've all got the guns out and everything, and they're doing it easily.
Yeah. In the explanation of the plan, when they're actually planning what's going to happen. I love that they played that out, and so that we got to visually see everything. And of course,
that was really cool.
Really,
and they used that
really
shot
cool.
in the trailer because it was such a cool shot where the guy lifts up the baton with all the nails in it, and they're all killing all the zombies.
Yeah.
I have a big problem with it. Do you want to go? Do you want to finish your
point?
point?
I just want to say, again, making a plan is another really important part that happens just at the end of Act 1 as we lead into Act 2. And the whole point of it is that you give your characters an amazing plan that's very, very clear for the one reason that they do not succeed.
Right.
You give them a plan that they are going to fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? That's the whole point
This
of the
is my
plan,
problem with this.
Right?
They didn't fuck it up.
They didn't fuck it up. They didn't fuck it up.
I really wanted them to open that safe and for the money to not be there or something.
Me too.
But what the fuck? The money was there. And then suddenly it's so easy just to take it all up.
Yeah.
And suddenly they got all those massive pallets of money up to the helicopter.
How did they? It was so unbelievable. It was just, come on. You know,
so I'm mentioning all my points now that about this
that's
story.
all right. Just vomit.
I'm vomiting them all out.
I just want to, just on that thing.
No, let's save. I want to talk about the father-daughter relationship. But you go on.
I just want to address what you said. Now, I'm going to bring it to Pixar here. One thing that Pixar does really well. I mean, you watch any Pixar movie and they're just ridiculous. I mean, really, if you look at it from the outside,
like a house made with balloons, traveling all the way to South America,
talking dogs flying planes. But the thing that Pixar does really well, toys that can talk, cars that can talk, blah blah blah. But the thing that Pixar does really well is they make the unbelievable believable.
They set the rules of the story. They set the rules of the world,
the rules of the universe,
to those rules,
and they stay within those rules. This film missed that for me, and for that I had disbelief. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And you disconnect.
I disconnect. I didn't go with it like you do with other unbelievable stories. That's a real problem. Yeah, so okay, let's move on to the father-daughter relationship.
Yeah, okay.
The real core of this story.
Can I just say the real core of most stories is some relationship.
I'm obviously still sick, by the way.
Between lovers or family in some way.
You made this point a couple of podcasts ago. Actually, it's a really good point.
Yeah, that usually, even if you're talking symbolically, even if no relationship is ever mentioned, it's an adventure world or a story world is symbolically representing some sort of relationship in some way. An inner life, an inner relationship. Most of the time. And so for this one, I mean, it was on the surface in this one, it was clearly the relationship between Dave Bautista, who has been estranged from his daughter.
Yeah, Kate Ward.
Kate Ward. So there's a few things to say here.
I've got lots to say.
You've got lots to say.
But you say it first. Go on.
Well, one little thing, this is just a sidestep. I want to say the intent, the motivations for Kate Ward to be going into the Las Vegas area to be killing these zombies, for me was really weak. Because she was going in there to save the mother of two children who she knew, and she was risking her life for someone that wasn't related to her, which sure you can do, but I just didn't believe someone would risk their life with millions of zombies.
Yeah, I
agree.
For
kids so the kids can have a mother.
Yeah.
Of a character that had not been introduced in any way.
Totally.
In terms of Kate and this woman having a relationship.
Yeah.
There was nothing. There was no intense love between them.
No,
there was no family between them.
I completely agree with you. Thematically, it obviously works.
Right.
Totally, because her father wasn't there for her, and so she needed to be there for the children and to save the mother.
Okay.
Thematically, it totally works. But I agree with you. What they really should have done is spent some time building up that relationship with this particular character, and not only that, but thrown on top of that, she goes into Las Vegas. She goes beyond the boundaries wearing a friggin' t-shirt.
Oh my God, I have a huge problem with this too.
With no armor.
Yeah. No one has any armor.
With a tiny little gun, and she's, her hair's perfect, and it's just, come on. Like, it doesn't seem dangerous at all.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Like, give them some like mech warrior metal armor or something like that. But make us actually fear for their lives. It just seems like they're just going to wing it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And also, well, look, I've got some things to say about craft here, but we don't really talk about craft that much. We like to focus on the story. But didn't the depth of field for this just piss you off?
Look, I noticed the depth of field in what's her name? The lady that was replaced, Tig.
Oh, in her shots.
Yeah, but I imagine
the whole story has a problem with depth of field.
Oh, did it? I only noticed it with her. I just assumed it was because they replaced her. I didn't really notice it anywhere else. Tell me about that.
For me, Zack Snyder seems to be shooting on the lowest f-stop he possibly can for every single shot.
Oh, yeah, I do remember there was I did see in one shot when they were moving forward and the camera was following them and they did keep going out of focus. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. There's that sort of thing, but also it's just so shallow. And I know that's cinematic, but it gets overused. Real films don't actually, like they use shallow depth of field for some reasons, and then they use like a closed down aperture for other shots to make sure that it's it's better.
Yeah.
But if the aperture's wide open and you've got that really silky, dreamy look, it can become overused, and it was totally overused in this film.
Okay, cool.
For me, totally overused. And Zack Snyder was the DOP.
Oh,
he was
he?
photography.
Did he also edit it as
Probably.
well?
Who knows?
Come on, these auteurs. Jesus.
I know. Yeah. Apparently, he searched eBay for every different sort of what do you call it, like antique lens he could to shoot this with.
Oh, okay. Why?
He wanted that silky, dreamy look.
Okay, maybe he should have focused more on the script, to be honest. Let's go back to the father-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
So just let's say that thematically, her going in to say that lady does work. Let's say that, and it kind of does. When we get to Ghost Choice in Act 2, which is really our first kind of choice point where our protagonist needs to make
he has a chance to change here.
A chance to change. They need to make a decision whether to go left or whether to go right, whether to do the good thing or not do the good thing. It's really quite clear in this movie because she comes to him and says, look, the woman that I want to save is in the Olympus Hotel. Let's go and get her now. And he says no, and they continue to for the money. So that was really clear and really cool. Yeah. Great, you set it up really well.
There's a binary here between doing things for himself and doing things for his family.
Totally.
It's a strength versus feeling binary. If you go back and listen to our last couple of podcasts, we can hear more about that. You can hear more about that. So these are two values or groups of values that are in conflict with each other, are often together. Yeah. So for me, it was that. That's what was happening there.
And, we learn from flashbacks that, he hasn't been there for his daughter. I think you mentioned that before. He did have to kill his wife and her mother because she had the virus. Which I'll be honest, my God, that was so messy. It was so messy, and they did address it later, and they said, and she actually said, and that's not the reason why I haven't been speaking to you. I was just like,
come on, of course he had to do it. It's not strong enough.
No. But she said that's not why she's hasn't been speaking to him.
I know, but like. For me, if I was Dave Bautista, I'd be like, look, your mother was infected. I had to kill her. Why are you angry at me?
Yeah, it was.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So why would he even think that she was angry at him?
I mean, I get that he wasn't there for her growing up and because she reminded him of the wife. I kind of get that. But I also don't get it. It's a little bit unbelievable. Why would you disown your daughter because she reminds you of your dead wife?
How long has the zombie apocalypse been going on?
Yeah, so
how long have they been separated for?
Yeah,
I thought it was only for like a few weeks.
Oh, a few weeks. Oh,
or maybe a couple of years. But like Vegas gets infected very quickly in a montage.
Well, I've missed that. So there you go.
How long have they been estranged for?
It would have been. It has to have been a few years. Well, it wouldn't have been a few weeks. I mean,
maybe
Vegas is in disarray. Like looks like it was 10 years ago.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I missed that. I don't know if that was clear, but Vegas has obviously been. They've given up on Vegas.
They've given up,
and now they've decided to drop the nuclear bomb on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, we haven't mentioned that.
That's
planning to drop a nuclear bomb on Vegas.
That's the time lock.
That's the time lock.
But I just want to say, what does happen at the end, and this is what they tried to do, is that he has to eventually be there for his daughter.
Yeah.
So she's run off. They got the money, but she escapes. Runs off to the Olympus to rescue this mum that she went in for. And he turns around and goes, "Where's my daughter?" Oh my God, we've only got, half an hour or an hour before they nuke Vegas. I have to go and save my daughter.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes.
Well, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous anyway. But that to me doesn't really, it doesn't quite translate to the ghost that kind of occurred.
Yeah.
To me, it's just, there are certain automatic primal things that humans do.
Yeah, yep. This is a really good point. So going to save his daughter
Going
is
to
just
save
kinda
your daughter,
obvious.
it's obvious. Anyone
necessary.
would do it without thinking. It does.
Especially someone like him who is like a big fighter.
Yeah, it doesn't really translate to being there for your daughter. It just translates to like, I just want to save my daughter.
Yeah,
I just thought that was really weak.
Yeah, he had to be there in a surprising way. Yeah, in an interesting way.
And this is how I think they should have done it. I think that at Worthy Choice, which happens at the end of our Act 2, which is a reflection of the ghost choice, they are given the same choice again. I think that he should have gone to help save the woman.
Right, yeah.
Right? Rather than going to save his daughter. I think it should have been something that's outside of the primal
her
sphere.
To lead.
Yeah.
Her to lead. And to trust her.
To trust her.
His trust in her.
Absolutely. And to support her belief system.
Yeah. Instead of just to save her life.
Exactly. That's where I think this film completely fell down, absolutely tumbled to the ground because of that. Other than that, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's zombies. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I kind of want to watch those films for the escapism, just to see how they kill zombies in unique ways. The guy getting that big sort of chainsaw thing out, with the circular saw.
He didn't use that very often, though.
But just the promise of that a little bit was, it was fun. There were some fun moments.
I don't find zombies fun, but I did find the heist fun. But that whole thing where, they cut off the head of the queen and she was actually pregnant and all that was a bit weird for me.
That was a bit weird, yeah. Yeah, pregnant zombies.
I did appreciate that they tried to do zombies a bit differently. For those who haven't seen it, and by the way, you should have seen it if you're listening to this bloody podcast, for God's sake.
We're spoiling everything.
There's two types of zombies. There's just, regular everyday zombie in this movie. And then there's like the game.
Oh, that's right. That was confusing and stupid how there was two different breeds within the same place.
I know. And
just make it one breed.
Exactly. They were kind of akin to the White Walkers in Game of Thrones. These they were literally called the alphas, the alpha zombies, And
it was actually, I misunderstood it. How did you tell the difference between the two? One was just a little bit more alert.
They had more consciousness.
Yeah.
They were able to feel. I mean, there were those moments between the king and the queen where he was clearly sad that she died or whatever.
Yeah.
You got that. And when his baby zombie died, which was fucking weird, you could see that he was sad.
Yeah.
They're also stronger and they're faster. They're smarter.
Sure.
They're like the smart version of zombies. Sure. I appreciate that they tried to do that. It just felt a bit messy. Why not make them all alphas?
Exactly. Just make them all alphas. There's no reason to have two different types.
That movie from however many years ago, Deep Blue Sea, or is that what it's called?
What, the shark one?
The shark one, and they made the sharks like human smart.
Yeah.
That was a different way to do a Jaws film.
Right.
And I really, they should have done it for all the zombies. They all should have been like smart.
I mean, okay, we can stop talking about this now because yes, I have nothing else to say. Exactly. They should have been smart zombies. How about that scene where this is the first great scene for me where they had to walk through the sleeping zombies. I mean, sorry, sleeping zombies ridiculous.
But great.
That concept.
Hibernating zombies.
The hibernating zombies, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But just having to creep through there
and
then setting the wrong direction for that character, I thought that was actually quite good.
That was original.
The real problem for me, though, was that the zombies woke up around her. She started killing them.
Yeah.
And then she got out of that scenario and was alive.
Yeah.
And then no one decided to save her or help her.
I
and
know.
she was really... It was actually probably at that point quite easy for her to get out.
It was a fuck yeah moment. Like we thought she died.
Yeah.
And the guy that had set her up had lied to everyone and said, "Oh, she died."
Yeah.
It was a perfect moment for her to just come through and like, he lied.
Yeah. He lied.
But she dies.
I know.
It's just
blows up, and then
weak.
we lost it.
It needed a couple more drafts.
Yeah, it did. Oh, actually, funny you say that. This film was actually started. Zack Snyder started writing this 10 years ago.
Oh, come on.
So come on, Zack. 10 years.
Come on.
One more bit of trivia for everyone
Yeah.
because everyone loves a bit of trivia.
I love trivia.
Oh, we went to a trivia. Oh, you didn't go, but I went to a trivia night
too
this
sick.
week. You were
Too sick.
I went to a Disney trivia.
How
night
was
week
it?
this
Did you
week.
win or lose? I bet you lost.
We came 5th last out of about 25 groups, I think, or 20 groups.
If I was there, you would have got.
Oh, you can
Close
say that because you didn't go,
to
but
the
I
top.
don't think so.
Hey, look, do I have to
It
bring
was
up?
actually pretty hard.
Do I have to bring up?
Here we
I'm
go.
going to say it. When we were in China, we had a monthly quiz night
We
that
were the
everyone went
cucumbers.
to. We were called the cucumber. Every time we changed our name, it had to have the word cucumbers in it. Honey, I Shrunk the Cucumber.
Yeah.
Um,
Driving Miss Cucumber.
Driving Miss Cucumber. Was
That was one of them.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Cucumber.
That was the best one. Anyway.
Anyway, at one quiz night, there was the most impossible question ever.
I feel like I should tell this story because
Okay.
otherwise you
All
telling
right,
it's
you
like
tell.
quite
Well,
arrogant.
tell it properly.
Okay, so we were probably at the fourth quiz night that we'd ever done, and there was a tiebreaker question that had to be answered. It was going to win it or lose it for our group. So the question was...
What was the question,
The
Will?
question was, name the word that has three consecutive...
No, name the only
word in the English
language
language that has 3 consecutive double letters
that is
in it.
it.
And we
Now
and
there
look,
are. No, I just want to.
fine.
I want to
Take
preface
over.
this by saying there are thousands of fucking words in the English language.
Oh, really?
okay?
Are there?
Now,
Pretty sure
out
there's
of-
probably a million.
out of the millions.
The millions,
The
of
millions
words.
of
Okay.
words.
Look, of course, you can't look at your phone. You can't look at
phone,
the dictionary.
nothing. Out of all the 100 people that were there.
No one got it.
No one got it.
Like time was running out. Like
Yeah.
let's put a time lock on this.
Yeah.
Like time was
Oh, it was
running
gone.
out.
It was gone.
I think there was like minutes to go.
Minutes.
And this was like
Jesus.
a special question between rounds, wasn't it?
I
I'm
think.
pretty sure.
Yep.
And like they were like, all right, rounding up. Has anyone got it? Oh, no one's got it. And then
I-
Nathan from the back of the room stood up.
No, that's not the story.
And he said,
No, that's not the story.
"Come on, I'm trying to make it
but you're
sound
lying.
great.
You're not telling it
Fine,
right.
You tell it."
I just told the group that the word is bookkeeper. Okay? And when they announced that we were the only group that got it, everyone wanted me to stand up. And everyone literally stood up and clapped and prayed to me.
Okay, they didn't pray to you.
They
That's
prayed.
not true.
They prayed
They
to
didn't.
me.
They just clapped.
They
Okay.
They worship me.
Bookkeeper. Bookkeeper. 3 consecutive double letters.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Okay, look, I think that's the end of it.
The first and only time you've ever been smart.
Okay. Anyway, had you taken me on Wednesday night, you would have won. So Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie 71% critics and a 76% audience score. IMDb 5.9, not surprised there. And a Metacritic is 57.
I'm
so
actually-
fairly low.
Yeah, fairly low. Yeah, I think films that are more style over substance usually get around these scores, you know? When it's like a good director who can you can solidly hold the film. Because I think it was kind of solid in the way that it was kind of, put together, but story-wise very weak.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of score that it deserves.
On the outside, it looked like a good typical Hollywood movie, but when you break it down, it just didn't have the foundation that it needed.
Exactly.
What's your story score?
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to have to give this a 4 for story.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I'm going 4.
Right.
Yep, doing
So,
4.
what's
So
your
you
overall?
started with 5. I started with 7. We both gave it a 4. Now, what is your final NMG, rationalized, reasoned, thought out score?
You know what? I'm going to go for a 4. I'm going to go.
So you went down. You took it down.
Yeah, I'm taking it down.
I'm also going to take mine down. So I'm going to take it from...
good. I mean, better go down.
You're frothing at the mouth today!
You're frothing.
I'm going to take my original first impression score of 7 down to a 6.
Only a 6.
Look, I know that I'm...
A 6 is still a high score.
No, I'm going to make it 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to make it 5.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
All right,
gonna make it
5.
No, I'm going to make it 6.
Oh, fine.
I'm going to make it 6 purely because it was just such a great concept. And, it's one of those concepts
We've
that-
got some great concepts.
We do. It's one of those concepts that you go, why didn't I think of that? That's like, if you're ever going to do a zombie movie differently,
It's true,
that is
isn't it?
such a great idea to do a zombie movie.
Yeah. Instead of running from the zombies, running into
The
zombies.
zombies. Yep.
I'm surprised.
It just didn't-
Actually, you know what? You and I haven't watched enough zombie
Zombies,
films. It
yeah.
might have been done.
Maybe, perhaps. Anyway, that brings us to the end of episode 38 of
That's it?
Not My Genre.
Do you have any updates for us this week?
I've been sick. I've lost 12 kilos.
No, you haven't.
Oh, you mean news that's not other than me?
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I don't.
11.7 kilos. Sorry, not 12.
Excuse me. Stop it. It's been lovely. We're going to see you next time for episode 39 on Not My
Is that what comes under 38?
That's right, Will.
Wow.
That's right. Well done.
You can
Also, bookkeeper. Okay. Bye.
See ya.